God, had to burp. Okay. Welcome welcome back everybody to Knights of the Lunch Table. Today we're going to be answering the question if high school was indeed the best time of our lives. Today we're covering memories from grade school, good or bad. So who wants to start?
I mean, I have one or two stories from grade school, but most of mine are middle and high
Yeah,
school.
fair enough.
But I remember, fucking, I don't know if you guys will remember the name of the school, but actually, should I even say the school name? It's been shut down for a while, so I don't think
Yeah, I
anybody
think
will
it's fine.
care. Okay, so I grew up in a school called Castle Rock Elementary. At most, there was maybe 100 students in the entire building throughout its years, and I remember very vividly that we had just gotten some new outdoor equipment, like play fucking what is it called? Play structure, jungle gym,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it. And I was sitting underneath playing with somebody else. Don't remember their name. It's been close to 20 some years. God, I'm old. But I had sat down underneath it and had gotten stung several times because I sat on a ground bee's nest.
Oh,
Yeah, it was not a fun
that
day.
sucks. Yeah.
Well, why the hell did you do that?
I don't know. Yeah, because obviously I knew right where Groundsby's nest
Yeah, you
was.
should have. God,
Jesus.
fucking amateur.
I was like 6.
Well, maybe don't be so dumb as a 6-year-old then.
Yeah, let me just go back in time and
Yeah,
change
do
that.
it.
While I'm at it, I'll also force my mother to invest in cryptocurrency.
Well.
Oh no.
And Amazon. There you go.
Oof. Big oof. Uh,
Anyway,
yeah.
I mean, in fairness, both those investments would have turned out pretty
I mean,
well.
I guess.
Yeah, I suppose.
But then your mom might have turned into like a crypto bro, and then
A crypto bro?
yeah, and then I
NFTs
couldn't
and
I couldn't deal with your whole family. Like that'd be it. We wouldn't be friends anymore.
Or my mom eating pizza with a fork?
That has nothing to do with crypto or anything.
or maybe it
But
does.
yeah,
I don't
this
know.
No,
this
but
this man. I mean, I guess this is that kind of era. But this man's mother tormented me for years by eating stuff with a fork that isn't meant to be eaten with a fork. Like I
Eating a
swear
hot
to God,
dog.
yeah, like she would like straight up like oh my God. Like they'd be having like fucking they like have like chili or some shit, and she'd be eating it with a fork. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like,
Knife and fork for chili.
I don't think we ever actually had
I don't know if it
chili in
was
that
chili, but it'd be
household,
something
so
like that. You know what I mean? Like where
she'd be eating soup with a
where
fucking knife.
clearly the optimal utensil to use would be a spoon, but no, she'd go with a fork. There was one time that I remember this. She asked me to bring her a fork because she was like in her bedroom or whatever. So I grabbed the fork and I walk in there thinking that she had like I don't know, like a little like fucking a little piece of cake or some shit. I don't know. And I walk in there, and she's like, "Oh, thanks. I needed to open my soda or some shit." I'm like, "Oh my God!" Just
Oh God, she still does that to this day, but now she uses a knife, so I don't know if that's better or worse.
I mean, it makes more sense, I guess, but like, oh my
You
gosh.
don't want to break a nail, I
Uh,
guess.
I mean, I guess, but like, you don't need a nail.
I mean, that's fairly
hey,
true.
you know. Yeah.
Anyway, enough about my weird family and past.
uh, um, Tyler, do you want to count that as your story?
I don't know. I was just talking about a thing. This is fantastic.
He's just making fun of my
This is
mother.
fantastic transition work. I mean, I guess I can talk about something. What the fuck could I talk about? Oh, I remember one time. So this isn't exactly a me thing, but it felt like it was just a weird scenario. That so I was supposed to, we were going on like a field trip thing, and it was supposed to be like everyone had like a like a buddy, like a partner or whatever, that, is like, okay, you're each in charge of like keeping an eye on each other kind of thing, which
Yeah.
seems like a really fucking weird system, but Um
Very.
so I was friends, or I was like buddies with this one girl. Um I mean, just for you guys, feel free to cut it out, but it was Angela Abate, who was actually, yeah,
I
she was like
remember
really
her.
nice at the time. But anyway, so yeah, I was like buddied up with this girl who was like really nice and like kind and stuff. And so I was like, all right, cool. So this should be easy. Like, I was just like, it was like middle school, but I was still like, God, please don't let me get grouped up with some like jerk, just douchebag I don't want to deal with. So I got grouped up with her. I was like, cool, she's a good person. Awesome, this will be fine. And like 5 minutes into the field trip, she like fell off a bench or something and scraped the shit out of her whole arm. Like just like her whole arm
Bruh.
was just, it looked like ketchup like mixed in with the
Ugh.
gravel. Like it was nasty.
And that's from falling
And
off the bench?
yeah, like she somehow like, I don't know, she tripped and like scraped up her arm and stuff. And I felt bad because like I was supposed to, not let that type of shit happen apparently. But like I know objectively there's like it wasn't on me, like there was nothing I could do, but it was still like
It was all your
it was
fault.
still like, oh shit. So yeah, then like
Oh shoot.
they ended up like going and cleaning it up and like getting it wrapped up and everything. And like, we went on the field trip and everything was fine. But like her fucking arm was like all rashed up and like is in pain the whole day. And I was like, well, that sucks. Like, so I ended up like not having as good of a time on the field trip because I felt bad the whole time. Because I was like,
You
because I was like,
should.
oh, my buddy is hurt. Even though like we weren't particularly good friends outside of that, it was just like, I don't know. It was like that weird thing where it was like, oh, this is your buddy, so like you're friends now,
You
I
messed up.
guess. And
Forced
like,
friends?
and then she had like a bad time, and I was like, well, shit, that's unfortunate. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's a weird
So,
memory that just sticks
uh,
in my head all the time, and I don't know why.
I would say really quick. I don't want to. I'm assuming you're kind of
Oh yeah, that
done
was
with your
yeah,
little bit here. Okay. I don't want to interrupt you if you have a story, but this just reminded me. There was another somewhat incident like that actually happened to me in grade school. If we want to cut out the name, we can.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
they always
it was
cut out.
Brittany Stotts.
Mm.
Y'all remember her?
Vaguely.
Yeah, very vague.
Okay. Anyway, I'm not 100% certain if the story happened or not, but I keep finding the mark, so it must have to some degree. I was stabbed with a pencil when I was
Oh.
younger.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are all of your stories
Yeah,
going to involve
I-
injuries? I'm just wondering.
No,
Okay.
I think I'm starting to. Well,
God damn it.
one more will involve an injury, but you guys were there for this other injury, so you're pretty well aware of it. But yeah, in grade school, I got stabbed with a pencil, and like I said, I don't actively remember it happening. I was just told this by several people. I'm like, okay, I guess I got stabbed.
Did
Got
you deserve it
shanked.
though?
I don't know. In fairness, this individual was never always on the up and up when it came to insanity. So we'll just put it
So
there.
you're saying is maybe you deserved it.
I'm going to give it like a 30-40% chance that I deserved it, but after
Yeah,
that,
fair enough. Okay.
no.
Yeah. I mean, I think the main, like, actual injury related story I have, I also don't remember very much because I feel like I kind of blacked out a lot of my elementary school days.
I feel like
But
we
it's
all
kind of
do
like the reason why my nose is bent. Like back in the day, a kid, I don't know if you guys know his name. I'll just cut it out. Like Zach McDougal.
Okay, that's what I thought it was.
that. I remember
Yeah.
McDougal.
But this kid was relatively new at the school, and I guess for some reason, I believe me and another kid were annoying him at lunch, doing whatever. Like I said, I have no recollection of what I was doing. But after a certain point, he got annoyed, got up, and punched me in the face off the table. And like I landed on the ground and just started immediately bleeding from my nose. And basically, I had to sit in the office for about a half hour, pinching my nose to keep the blood from flowing out. And to this day, my nose is bent, slightly to the right.
So, for my last injury story,
Alright.
actually, weirdly enough, you guys, I know you were there during freshman year when I won't say his name partially because I don't fully remember it. Oh wait, no, never mind. It just came to me. I remember it. Mr. Brett Stratton in high school, kid came up to me during gym class, and the whole story was we were doing the little run around like we did every morning in the gym sessions. Y'all
Yeah.
remember
Yeah.
that shit? So we were doing the warm up, and he had run past me one time, and he tried to rip my shorts down. And I'm like, okay, this is really weird, but I'm a nerd. I get it. I'm being picked on. Whatever. Fine. We run around again. He does the same thing. And I'm like, dude, you better fucking knock this off. This is getting annoying. Third time, and I grab his arm before he does it, and he just swings at me. Just, face to fist kind of bullshit. And I'm like, okay. And next thing I know, I am being pulled away from this dude. And, yeah, he busted my nose in high
Oh,
school.
well, it links together. Two busted noses.
I think it's interesting and telling that he kept trying to pull it on your pants. I think he was.
Yeah,
I think
that was always one thing I
he
wondered
was
about.
flirting with you.
In a very weird way.
I don't know.
In
I don't
a
know
very
about that dude.
sexual assaulty kind of way,
Yeah.
Yo, if I would have known that growing up, we could have added that to. Oh, by the way, we took him to court, and that dude actually owes me like $5,000.
Well,
Yeah, you're never getting that money.
probably not.
No, I'm absolutely not. Which a little bit more of a side tangent with this. We were actually supposed to go on national TV for this case. Like everything would have been paid for. Yeah, we would have been on obviously like one of the judge shows. Everything would have been paid. Nobody he wouldn't have even had to spend a dime. My money would have been paid just straight up. And they didn't want to because his dad was not like, no, that's going to embarrass the family. I'm like, your kid is already like
Embarrassing himself.
Yeah, he's already in trouble. Let's not drag this along any further. And they would have paid the fine for him and everything. And they just, no.
I mean, to be fair, it seems like that parent made the right call strategically. Because, like I said, you're never getting
if the
that
dude
money.
ever,
So,
unless he passes away, then I'm entitled to it.
well, yeah,
Which
as
would be
long
weird.
as he has that money, like, available, like,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah, my one injury story, like my biggest injury story of
Who
like
broke your
somebody
nose,
else causing
Tyler?
my injury. No, nobody broke my nose.
Yes, who broke the nose?
I was generally very good at avoiding facial injuries.
As was I until my nose got
I mean,
busted.
my face is very important to me. I need it for the podcast.
Totally.
A non-video.
You have a face for radio.
Exactly. Yes, I have a face for radio, as Josh put it. And a voice for print. Didn't. Anyway.
I've never heard that one. That's a good one.
Anyway, so yeah, no, it's actually my thumb. God, what's her fucking name? Victoria something. That's the one. Okay, so yeah, cut all that out. But anyway, so yeah. I was going to my locker one time, and I was talking to this girl who I was decent friends with at the time. And why are all my stories about girls? What the heck? Anyway.
Russian on her?
And I was I mean, at one point I did have a crush on her, but it had
Ah.
subsided by this point.
Fair enough.
Yeah, just
It's probably a
in
good
case you
idea.
guys didn't know that. Just a little bit of background information. But yeah, so I was talking to her at the locker or whatever because we're, friends and stuff. We're hanging out. And I go to put my books in my locker, and I think I was going to open. Yeah, that's what it was. So I went to open my locker, and like I put my thumb like on the inside of the locker, like to just swing it open.
Oh yeah.
And she apparently thought it would be funny to slam my locker shut before I could open it. I don't know if she meant to do it with my thumb in there, or like just wasn't thinking, or what. But yeah, I got my thumb like got slammed into the locker,
I remember
and it was
hearing
like
about
stuck
this,
in there.
actually.
Like I couldn't
Oh,
yeah, it didn't like the locker actually shut with my thumb in it.
oh.
And my immediate reaction was just pull, and like I managed to get my thumb out, but like it was after it had already slammed and like latched shut. And so yeah, a bunch of blood vessels got broken over the next few days. My thumb like expanded, basically because
Is that when it
um,
turned purple and you had to like leak it through your nail?
yeah, I'll get
Oh,
there.
yeah,
So
okay.
yeah, it was getting
I'll get there. I'll get there.
it was getting like really big, and like it was turning purple and
Giggity.
gross. And I was told by the doctors, because I went to the doctor eventually, that basically the reason that was happening is because there was nowhere for the blood to like go. It was like trapped behind the nail. So in case you didn't
Ooh.
know this, what they do is they basically take a hot soldering iron and just like touch your nail with it to like burn the nail or like melt through the nail.
Yeah.
So yeah, they did that, and they also said that we could have done it at home, just like with a hot, metal clothes hanger.
That doesn't
Kitchen
seem
knife.
sterile.
Yeah, which I was like,
No.
no, I'm cool with the doctors doing this one. And they can't like numb it either, because apparently that I can't remember what the explanation was, but they couldn't numb it because I
Because
don't
fuck
know,
you. No.
something to do with like
No,
they
they're-
couldn't get to the bloodstream properly or some shit like that. I don't fucking know.
Oh.
Or like it wouldn't be effective because it was still bleeding. Something I don't remember the exact explanation, but yeah, apparently they couldn't numb it for whatever reason. But yeah, so they just touch the nail with this hot soldering iron, and then this like blackish red like goop just fucking spurts out because it was under that much pressure. It like spurted out like 6 inches and just. And then like subsided. So there's blood all over the table and stuff. It just then it like was just a slow like goopy like just running out. Then they have to like push down to like actually make sure that they get all of the stuff out. So like my thumb
It's like
my
a
thumb
pimple.
was already sensitive, yeah. And then they have to like burn a hole in it. Then they squeeze it, so that hurts even more. So yeah, all that happened, and then I just had to, and then eventually the fingernail falls off.
Oh.
So I didn't have a thumbnail for like a month, so that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was
So yeah,
weird.
now
Yeah.
that thumbnail is all janky. Like I don't know how to describe it, but like if you look at it, you can like see the spot where they burned the hole in it, and it like grows thicker than all of my other fingernails, and it
And
like
so does my toenail.
yeah, and it like cracks weird occasionally. Like there'll be like it'll
This is a weird
split and
conversation.
stuff. Yeah. So yeah, now if I overuse my thumb, it starts to hurt. So like I can't go bowling without it hurting.
Well then, that's unfortunate.
Which is
Fair enough.
so yeah, like I mean, good thing that I don't bowl because I hate bowling because I find it boring.
Yeah,
I love
it's
I don't know,
fun
it's more
for a short
frustrating
amount
to
of
me.
time.
Cause it's one of those things like bowling is one of those things that you can't just try harder and do better.
You have to have a strategy.
Like it,
I would say disagree.
I mean,
a
you're
little
absolutely wrong. But in soccer, in soccer or hockey, the other two main sports that I play, or even volleyball, another sport that I recently picked up, you can, to an extent, just work harder and, like, at least make more of a positive impact. Whereas in bowling, the harder you actively try to make the ball do what you want it to do, the worse it ends up being. Like, the best way to...
Well, no, because then you could do like muscle memory almost.
Well, right, but that's not trying. That's just letting your body do what you've trained it to do.
Yeah, but you have to try harder to get to that point.
You don't, though. That's the thing. No. Trust me. I know multiple very good bowlers. And, yeah, the best way to bowl, apparently, is to just, like, stay calm and do what you know you need to do. Not just putting in more effort. Just blatantly putting in more effort generally ends up fucking you over. Because you end up pushing the ball harder, or, or you put too much spin on it, or whatever. But that's a big tangent. But,
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so that's how I got my thumb slammed in a locker. Feel free to cut out all that bowling shit. Because
Yeah.
it's kind of other nonsense. But yeah, so that's my one big injury story that somebody else caused me.
All right.
Yeah.
Do we have stories that
another-
aren't injury related?
I'll say I do have another one that's kind of the flip side of the one about the field trip. So
Did you cause an injury?
this time, actually, I just remembered a couple times. There was one time we were playing football and somebody like full on like full speed, like somebody twice my size, full on full speed, like tried to do like a blocking maneuver on like a kickoff, and this was just like playground football, no pads or anything, and they absolutely friggin' trucked me. Like, this was two-hand touch, and dude ran me over. Like, it was literally one of those things where, like, you leave your feet, and you don't land on your back, you land on your front because you got flipped.
Jeez.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
it was rough. And dude's like, oh, sorry, man, I didn't mean to. I was like, bruh,
You
I'm
flipped
like, you're
me.
200 pounds, I'm barely hitting triple digits, what are you doing? But anyway, that's a different tangent. So yeah, the story that's the opposite of the field trip one. I got grouped up to do a group project. It was like one of those things where you don't choose your partner,
Yeah.
which generally worked better for me because I didn't usually have anybody that I wanted to work with or that wanted to work with me. So like if there was going to be a group project, somebody better assign me a partner or I'm not going to have a partner. Which I was usually fine with,
Fair
but
enough.
that's beside the point. I got partnered with, I don't remember her name, but some underclassman. I was taking the class as, I think, a junior, because it was just like an elective thing. And she was taking the class as I can't remember if she was a sophomore or a freshman, but it was a person that I had never spoken to. Like, I had zero interactions with this person. The only reason I knew who it was is because our school has had a whole student population of like 200. So,
yeah, small.
yeah, so you at least know who everyone is, even if you don't talk to them. But yeah, I had never had any interaction with this person before. And so we get partnered up, and she immediately, in front of the whole class, is just like, we actually don't get along. Like, I don't get along with him. And I was apparently feeling particularly, I don't know what the word is, like, I was
Scrappy.
not having that shit that day. So immediately I fired back with, actually, we've never interacted before. You have no basis for thinking that you don't like me.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And so yeah, that was really like kind of an awkward situation for most of the school, like class, I guess. I was quite proud of myself because I was like, yeah, get
yes, got her.
Affect
yeah,
you.
I don't know. I like those scenarios where I get to like make the other person feel awkward publicly for being a shitty person.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we ended up actually like doing the project. Everything went fine, and like we got a good grade on it and everything. She never apologized, but like I don't know, it kind of felt like one of those scenarios where like she kind of learned her lesson, so that was kind of badass. Um,
Yeah.
Fair
and
enough.
then and then I have one other short story to throw on the end of that, which is another situation of like doing that same thing in class. So the person that I was referring to earlier, like before we started recording, you know, the one that went and that does modeling now, um,
Yes.
she and one of her other friends, I don't know who, were like chattering and stuff. And this is when I had my long hair in high school. Well, I mean that's kind of all of high school, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It was a
Jeez.
period of time where my hair was really long. Um, and I just for the record, for everyone out there, I take good care of my long hair. It's fabulous. I got flow. Girls be jealous. Anyway, uh, no, I genuinely know girls that are jealous of my hair, and it makes me feel good. So anyway,
Fair enough.
this weird tangent, but look, man, you got to boost yourself up sometimes. So anyway, they're like talking and stuff about like how gross I am and blah 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 blah, and I could overhear them, and they said something about like, oh my god, it's so long and it's probably oily and gross, blah 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 blah, and I like loud as fuck, and it was in the middle of it was in the middle of a class, and like the teacher is talking and stuff, and I was like, yeah, I feel like this is a good time because like no one else was really talking or you know. So I louder than the teacher just, and it was a teacher that I liked too. Like you know, good guy. But yeah, so I hear that and I'm like, you know, I can fucking hear you, right? And they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you're fucking talking about my hair, and I can hear you talking about it. So like, what's your problem with it? And they stopped talking about it after that. It was awesome. I got talked to
Yeah.
about by the teacher after class about it, and he's like, "Hey, like, cool, but like, try not to do that in the middle of class." And I was like, I mean, honestly, I would have done it outside of class, but like, they were.
They kept taking.
I was
That's
like,
fair
I mean,
enough.
they were like, they like, what's the fucking word that teachers always use? Disrupting. I was like, they were disrupting me from listening to you, so I was just, you know, fixing that, and he was like, cool. So I ended up not getting in trouble for that one. One of the few teachers that rarely gave me any discipline.
Hmm.
Just for the record, not for the podcast, but it was Mr. Klish.
Oh, okay.
Dude, he got me and you in trouble for actually nothing, and it kind of upsets me.
Yeah, you told that story, but I don't remember that. But I mean, it was honestly every time I got in trouble by him, it was kind of deserved as far as I remember. Like,
Yeah, except the one time I'm talking about, I got sent to detention and you didn't. That I'm salty
yeah, I don't
about.
know. But I mean, look, man, you can't have a perfect record in everything. But
And I actually have a quick
I don't know. I
story
mean,
about like that relatively same situation with me and Tony. Because like during his class, we were both being kind of loud, and we ended up kind of getting in trouble, and he ended up putting duct tape on our mouths, which admittedly made us even louder. Uh, in the end, like Tony,
Klish, I don't think you could do
I
see,
don't
that.
think he
I mean,
could anymore, but
I
yeah,
feel like that's more of the thing of like, see, I feel like he knows the like kind of the boundaries for each student for the most part. Like,
yeah,
Oh yeah, like, and to be honest, he would let everyone get away with a lot of
yeah,
shit. So the fact, like, it was only like fair that he could get away with some
yeah. Well,
weird
and
shit too.
I think that's the thing too. I don't think he was like that. I mean,
He never did it
obviously, I was
vengefully,
never
but
there for that scenario, but it seems like the kind of thing where he wasn't really that mad that you guys were doing it. He was just trying to make a point.
yeah. And in the
yeah,
end,
But
Tony eventually ended up going to detention because of it, like the loudness and
well, yeah,
everything, and I didn't go. So
yeah.
yeah.
I don't remember if it was him or someone else. So I know there was one instance where, one of the air quotes popular girls who was a major friggin' airhead. It was a political science class, and she was complaining about, I don't know why we have to take this class, blah 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 blah. And he fired back with like well, this is actually an elective, so you don't have to take this class. The reason this class exists is so that people don't go around and just stupidly, oh, I vote for this person and not know how the goddamn system works. And like he like friggin' went off on her, and I was like, yes, get her, get that stupid bitch.
Go off, queen. No.
Dude, I have only ever heard Klish like go off on maybe like 4 or 5 people, and I'm talking like straight up, he's screaming at the top of his lungs. And I remember I was in one of those classes.
That's why it's effective.
Oh, it is,
because he's not always
it was
yelling.
It was weird.
Like, you guys remember the fucking the vice principal, right? Or like the previous vice principal, Kupta.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
so
Kupta.
He fucking, first of all, his wife, cool lady, don't mind her, she's fine. Him though, like, he was constantly like yelling at students and berating people, and nobody ever fucking listened to him. That's why, because he was always fucking yelling at people. Like,
God, I actually had that when I was working at the place me and you used to work, and I'm generally, when I'm working, unless there's a customer has actively pissed me off, I don't raise my voice to people because, again, I don't find it that it gets shit done.
Yeah.
And the one time I yelled, no one ever came back to talk to me about the situation. It never happened again. As far as I'm aware, it's still like a rule that exists in the store now. And it was interesting.
Yeah. So I don't remember what teacher. There was another teacher that I really liked. I can't remember which one it was, but somebody had like
Willis?
those fluffy, like the really squishy like dodgeballs. Like, had one of them in their cabinet, and somebody, like, there was a couple people like chattering, like just talking back and forth, and he legit just like slowly walked over to the cabinet, opened the cabinet, grabbed the dodgeball out, looked at them for a minute, they kept talking, and he just blasted one of them in the back with it. And I think it was funny as shit, because I think the shock of like what happened was worse for the student than like the actual getting hit. They were just like, oh! Like, they just like realized that they just got caught, and the whole class was watching it happen. Oh, it was so good.
Oh God, what was it? We had a kid fall asleep in our class, and again, can't remember the teacher's name. If I had my yearbook, I could probably tell you exactly who. But the kid fell asleep in the front row, and come to find out, he was actually sleeping because of some shit that had happened at home. So what he did was not fully justified, but at the same time, semi was. He walked up, he like kneeled at the front of the desk, and you know what? I don't think it was Klish. No, never mind. But he had sat there and he had a handful of books, and everyone got real quiet and just sat there and watched him do this, where he raised the books and like the ruler snap on a desk. He did that with the books, and the kid fell out of the desk and like he didn't crack his head open, but he had started bleeding because he hit his head on like one of the desks nearby.
Geez.
It was like, again, it was more of like a drop or two of blood came out, and luckily beyond that nothing happened. The student didn't say anything. Teacher apologized profusely, but it was like, holy shit.
Dude could have lost his job.
Yeah, luckily the parents, again, with all the situations at home, nobody was like, obviously the teacher was reprimanded a little bit, but he wasn't at risk of losing his job that day. But it was just, it put everyone in shock and surprised that he was still there like years after we left.
So I have one more like crazy teacher story that popped in my head. I don't know how many more I have, but so you know how all the science teachers are kind of nutcases.
Oh,
Kinda.
depending on
Uh,
what kind of nutcases you're talking about, yes. We've had
so
many.
I was in one of their classes. Well, they like to prank each other, or liked to at the time. So I was in
Oh
one
yeah.
of the science classes, and one of the other like teachers just came in the like door, like just walked in the door holding something. We didn't know what it was. Dropped it in the trash can, started laughing, and then just walks away. And you just like hear him cackling down the hall. And we're like, okay, that was weird. And then a minute later, the trash can started smoking.
Oh god.
And then it kind of lit on fire a little bit. The teacher that was in charge of the class that we were in just like was like, "Oh, okay." And then went and got the fire extinguisher and put it out. But yeah, there's that kind of stuff where it was like, "Oh, okay, then what a friggin' psycho. Cool."
Right. Oh god, that's
But
great.
yeah, teachers are friggin' wild.
They are,
Science
but they're very
teachers
needed.
especially.
Trying to think who would be the one that would light the trash on fire. I feel like it'd be
I
the
don't
one
know.
that would
That's a good question.
like we had our first like I think it was chemistry teacher. I don't remember his name. Like he's not working there anymore. I think he's actually like the principal of the middle school. Um,
Huh.
but like he liked doing experiments that he didn't exactly tell the students about. So, like, I know my brother's class, like, they lit magnesium wire and they weren't sure what was going to happen. And,
Ooh,
like, each
Oh,
student ended up
that's a
basically
fun
getting
one.
flash banged in the class.
that's awesome.
Like, dropping, like, one of
Oh,
the potassium or something, like,
Yeah,
water, then it,
potassium
like,
when you drop it in
blows
water.
up the
Yeah.
glass and whatnot.
So I just remembered another quick story about not to try to hog the whole situation, but I had another. So at one point we had a new chemistry teacher, right? And she was like,
I mean, we had a couple, but yes.
well, yeah, but like there's one
Yeah,
in particular
right.
that I was talking about.
Those
That
and math teachers we went
she
through
she was
quickly.
just like just out of college, like this was her first like teaching job, so she was young and she was in shape.
She was
What I'm trying to
naive.
say is she was
Are you sure that wasn't the math
no, it was
teacher?
100% chemistry,
I think I know who
and
you're talking
Okay.
about.
she was goddamn hot, is what I'm trying to say.
God damn.
And then one
Now,
day she had a panic attack and had to be led out of the school.
motherfucker, why, bruh? It's a story. I'll get there anyway. So she's this like hot teacher. I, as an intellectual,
Intellectual.
no, I
Actually.
was just like, okay, cool. I got a hot ass chemistry teacher. I like I like chemistry. I like hot teachers. This works. So I was just like, all right, cool. I'm down with this deal. I'm just gonna chill and take the class and enjoy my time. Other students, however, decided to try to flirt with her, and like a couple like actually tried to like ask her out. And yeah, that's kind of what led to her like having a bit of a mental breakdown and
bit?
like having to yeah, I think she had like an anxiety attack or something and like
And she had to be led out of the school by the
yeah,
vice
she ended up
principal. Yeah.
quitting because of that, and for that I will never forgive those students because
You'll
I
never
didn't
see
get to
again,
look
anyway.
because I didn't get to look at my eye candy fucking chemistry teacher anymore.
Then
And
she got
anyone out there that acts like they've never had a teacher that they looking at and be like, damn, I'm glad I'm in this class, is fucking lying. It's not weird. There's some hot teachers out there,
Okay.
and that's why there's a whole porn category of it.
Oh god.
To be fair as well, though, but to be fair, a lot of the teachers we had growing up were usually like 40, 50-year-old males
Yeah.
and like 50-year-old
Yeah.
women. Nowadays, that's not the case. It is like 20-some-year-olds that have been in school, and I wouldn't be surprised if anyone had dropped out, but they are, my God, my left leg probably weighs more than most of them teachers do.
Jeez.
And it's, bugs me. Although I do know where to pick up women.
What the fuck does that have to do with grade
Because,
school?
and this is not a creepy thing, allow me to
300
explain,
feet away from
there's
the
a
nearest
school near my house. If you chop down like 4 trees by my house, you could look out and see the elementary school. But some of the teachers I've seen walk out of there are pretty damn good looking. So,
God.
Oh my god! So
like I said, not trying to be weird, but
I just remembered. So I when I lived in La Crosse, I lived across the street from a school, and this has nothing to do with like the whole like hot teacher scenario or whatever, but it was a lot of fun because like they had open windows all the time, and my one of my roommates had like a high powered laser pointer. So he used to like point it at the board and shit and like get students in trouble. That was so fun.
Jeez.
Has nothing to do with my grade school experience, but like it was still fun. But yeah.
fair enough.
So before we get any weirder,
I also had more evil thoughts.
Like, as we should start
Yeah,
wrapping
I had
up.
more evil thought. Okay, cut this out. But I had more evil thoughts about like, bro, do you know how many of these students I could shoot before they would catch me?
oh god,
Bruh,
Absolutely
no.
cut that out. But that is I do not control the thoughts that randomly pop into my brain. That just happened.
No, but you control the thoughts that exit your brain.
Yeah, I control what I do with those thoughts, which is why I never shot any children. Because I'm not a psychopath.
Oh, I am, but I'm not shooting children.
all right.
Anyway. So yeah, cut all of that out.
So in closing thoughts, do we have any tips today?
Yes, kids, stay in school.
That's pretty generic.
That's your whole tip? Okay, wow.
I mean,
Basic ass bit. Anyway.
Yeah.
My tip, I guess, would be, like, not entirely, don't be a complete douche about it, but, like, don't be afraid to be a little bit of a rebel, like, you know, question authority occasionally, like, don't just bow down to, you know, authority figures because they're authority figures, you know? If you got a cool-ass teacher, respect them, you know, and follow the rules, but if a teacher's being a dick, don't be afraid to, like, bring that up to somebody.
Yeah, fair enough. I'd say while you're in school, try to have enough fun where it creates memories. Because you're going to be learning a lot throughout your life, and you're probably, hopefully, never going to stop learning. So don't think that high school or grade school, college even, is going to be the last place you're going to learn. You have to take it too seriously. Have a little fun.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah,
I thought my shit was
make
generic.
it worth it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
And no, I do have a.
Oh shit! This guy trying to throw in
to
2
have.
different tips, cheating.
No, no, mine's actually a
First one
legitimate
is more like
tip,
a half.
I promise. Yeah. And it's kind of leads off of your tip, Tyler. You know, respect your teachers. They're dealing with a lot of shit, as are the students. You know, obviously don't take everything they say at face value, but know that they're probably dealing with like 40, 50 kids each class, and there's a teacher shortage. They're doing their damnedest right now to do something that a lot of us probably wouldn't even have the courage
Oh
to do.
yeah.
So overall,
So
you know, stay in school. Don't just blindly follow people, but also be respectful and be not a dickhead. And, make your time in high school worth it. Yeah? That just about
Yeah.
sum up everything?
Yeah, basically.
yeah,
Cool. God, I'm good at this.
cool.
Anyway, yeah. Outro, Kyle.
Yeah.
Well, everyone, thank you for watching our episode. Hope it was enlightening and entertaining. If you want to watch our other episodes, you can find it. Well, you can find it in any other podcast website you can watch them on, I guess. Otherwise, you can
Oh.
find all of our other
And
stuff
also
on
on YouTube.
Linktree. Tyler, if you want to say it.
Linktree.com/Procrastination Nation Studio.
Thank you.
All one word, no
Yes.
spaces.
But,
I
alright,
mean, it's a
thank you for
URL. There's
watching.
never spaces in a URL. Anyway.
Anyway,
Bye.
bye.
Thank you for watching. Bye.